Chokam Soki Choknam La, Jamshu Padu Dagni Kyapsuchi, Dagi Chunyan Gi Peso Nanki, Drola Penchu Sangye Yu Pashu. Chokam Soki Choknam La, Jamshu Padu Dagni Kyapsuchi, Dagi Chunyan Gi Peso Nanki, Drola Penchu Sangye Yu Pashu. Chokam Soki Choknam La, Jamchu Padu Dagni Kyapsuchi, Dagi Churnin Gi Peso Nanki, Droga Penchu Sangye Drupashu.
Okay, good morning everybody. How are you today? Okay, open page 221. This will be prayer for Tara, Mother Tara. You can call Mother Tara. She's, also when we recite the chantings, we get more merit. And the special Tara is more power. Any obstacles for our life, our practice, therefore we can recite once every Sunday. Then also people have more familiarized. I know that some senior students they will memorize, but it's not long to memorize that. But we can recite it again, then more familiarized. This is even the great big monasteries, 4,000 to 5,000 monks together. They also do puja. They do recite the 21 Tara again and again. Sometimes they recite every morning 60, 70 times. Maybe it takes 1 hour, 2 hours. But they monks very fast because they know, they're familiarized. But also we can, our life, our practice, there's a lot of obstacles for us also. Therefore, we can motivation for benefit of all the sentient beings, wishes, something
to accomplish the wishes of all sentient beings.
Yeah. Then you can that kind of motivation for us, then we can recite, then we get big merit. Then we say monastery, they have some award. We say, if you do practice or study this much,
One handful,
you need to do this kind of puja. Because we have everybody, including everybody, you don't have enough to merit also, not obstacles. Sometimes we say, sometimes we don't want to come to teachings, pujas. Our feeling is, I have to die today. This we have obstacles. Sometimes, I don't want to do that practice, maybe read the book, go to center, do something. So our feeling is that I don't want to do that, it's too much. This we call obstacles. This is also blessing from Mara. Therefore, very little careful. This is parche.
An obstacle or an interruption.
Yeah. Therefore, this kind of man coming, then we have to fight. Of course, sometimes our physical things, time, meetings, not available all the time, but not 100% whatever that kind of man coming. We say, okay, we can do that. This is the obstacle, or the maras give to blessing. Also, sometimes we more interest to come to centers, do some practice. This is also blessing from the, Buddhism. if you whatever you go to center in blast from Dharma and Buddha, then Mother Tara, they bless our mind. They say, oh, we have to go to the center and listen some teachings, study something, do something for this blast for us. Therefore, two different blasts. Good blast, bad blast. Therefore, try to don't follow the bad blast. Sometimes, of course, we have no choice, our samsara, we have to do our life. But anyways, we wish to include us to all sentient beings have any obstacles in their life, purify all the negative karma, then we can restart to 21 Tara, then Mr. Bob be leading. We can lead.
Okay, page 221. Om I prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator. Homage Tara switcheroo, eyes like lightning instantaneous, from lightning stamens of the Lord of three worlds, zero lotus. Homage she whose face combines 100 autumn moons and fullest, blazing with light rays resplendent as a thousand-star collection. Homage golden blue on lotus, water born in and adorned, giving effort, calm austerities, patience, meditation, mercy. Homage crown of Tathagatas, actions triumph without limit, relied on by conquerors children, having reached every perfection. Homage filling with Tutare, wounded by direction and space, trampling with her feet the seven worlds, able to draw forth all beings. Homage worshipped by the All-Lord, Chakra Agni Brahma Maru, honored by the host of spirits, for praisers of Dharma Jakshas. Homage with their train and paid sounds, destroy evil rhetoric diagram, perfect pressing left uprising, blazing in a raging twilight. Homage to a very dreadful destroyer of Tara's champion, she with frowning lotus visage, who is slayer of all enemies. Homage at the heart her fingers, adorn her with ritual mudra, light ray masses all excited, all directions will adorn her. Homage she so joyous radiant, crowning making garlands of light, mirthful laughing with Tutare, subjugating Mara's demons. Homage she able to summon all her guardians assembly, shaking, crowning with her own sign, saving from every misfortune. Homage crown adorned with crescent, moon all ornaments all shining, Amitabha in her hair knot, sending out much light eternal. Homage she may breathe the blaze like Eon and fire abiding, bright stretched left and joys around you, troops of enemies destroying. Homage she who strikes the ground with her palm and with her foot beats it, scowling with the letter home, the seven levels she does conquer. Homage happy, virtuous, peaceful, she whose field is peace nirvana, she endowed with Om Soha, destroyer of what great evil. Homage she with joy surrounded, tearing foes' bodies asunder, frees with fluent knowledge mantra, arrangement of the 10 letters. Homage to her richly better, of the shape of Silogolum, right from stamping shakes the 3 worlds, Meru Mandara Binya. Homage holding in her hand the earmark moon of Deva Lakewalk, with white spoken Tara and totally dispelling poison. Homage she whom gods and their kings and the kin of us to honor, armored in all joyful splendor, she dispels by dreams and conflicts. Homage she whose 2 eyes bright with radiance of sun and full moon, with twice Tara and Tutari, she dispels severe contagion. Homage full of liberating, powered by the set of free nature, destroys hosts of spirits, yakshas, and raise forth the supreme Turi. These praises with the root mantras and prostrations thus start 21.
page 245. This is the benefit the established chanting.
Whoever is endowed with devotion to the goddess and recites this with supreme faith, remembering it at dawn upon awakening and in the evenings, will be granted all fearlessness, will perfectly pacify all negativity, and will eliminate all unfortunate migrations. The multitudes of conquerors quickly grant initiation. Thus endowed with this greatness, one will eventually reach the state of a Buddha. If affected by the most terrible poison, whether ingested drunk or from a living being, just by remembering will one be thoroughly cleansed. If this prayer is recited 2, 3, or 7 times, it will pacify all the suffering of torments caused by spirits, fevers, and poisons, and by other beings as well. If you wish for a child, you will get a child. If you wish for wealth, you will receive wealth. All your wishes will be fulfilled, and all obstacles pacified.
Okay, good. Anybody find that benefit? What they talk about? I think you guys are all very smart. You just really can more understand anyway what they're talking about. Okay, anyway. Today we have not counted here. Maybe Eddie was able to put this. So very good. Anyway, it's good for opportunity to study some benefit for all sentient beings, all our future lives. But we Buddhism have past future lives. But many people, even in the Western country, they're difficult to accept or understand how we prove. Right?
Understand correctly. So it's difficult for Westerners to accept or understand that there exist past and future lives.
He said, Buddha says that past future life. That's not enough. Love is talk. Love. Love is said.
You mean the sentence?
Love
Tsamgi.
Yeah,
So to just simply say that Buddha said that there are past and future lives is not enough.
To our belief.
Yeah, that's not sufficient reason to believe that.
Right. But this does not mean we are not trust Buddha, okay? Sometimes we say, Buddha said it, but let's not trust Buddha. But not look that. Buddha give for us. This is my experience. What's experience? Experience. But you can check. Investigation. When people buy the balls, they, what's that?
Cut and rub and burn.
Yeah. Look at that. He said, this is my experience, but you can check by yourself. Don't
So this is like just to rephrase what he just said, this is a famous quote from Buddha. The things that I teach to you, you should treat them like you are purchasing gold. When you purchase gold in the market, I guess in ancient India, it's a common practice to scratch the surface of it to make sure it's not just a stone with some gold on the outside, to rub it to see if it shines, polishes, and to burn it with some fire. I guess that shows some impurity or something. So he said to treat his teachings like that. And then what Geshe is saying in Tibetan is having only faith, accepting things out of faith in me is not a reason to accept them, is what Buddha said.
Okay.
So then we, in order to establish that there are past and future rebirths, we have to think with our own minds.
근데 이거 다 나도 지원 만주 나도 냠돌아 만주 수포다 만주 다샘 냠도 있습니다. 일본 냠도 있어.
So now our,
Yeah.
you mean now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now our body and mind go together.
근데 이 바이자 아니 머리도 많이 이제 제가 깨는 쇼에서.
Body and the mind, both the body and the mind depend on causes and conditions.
아니 줄아야 거기서 얘네지잖아. 해지지신이 그래서.
There are two types of causes. There is the proximate cause, the immediate cause, and the how do you say, the distant cause, I guess. One is immediate and one is far, right?
No.
Nyerlangigyudong.
해지지.
So the Nyerlangigyu is like the proximate cause, and then the Lenchichekyen is like the simultaneous cause, or Lenchichekyen, the simultaneously occurring conditions.
그래서 빼셔봐야나. 먼저 애플 맞다 그러고 애플 그 시리로 대 애플 그 해지시 말 얘네지 됐어.
Nyerlang, yeah.
아니 사당 유당 추가도 좀 해지시.
Okay, so then the example of these two types of causes is like when you plant the seed of an apple in the ground, the seed itself is the proximate cause of the tree, like the apple tree that will grow, and then the simultaneously occurring conditions are like the soil, the water, the sunlight, the warmth. Those are the simultaneously occurring conditions.
오케이. 다 들리나 다 단단하죠 망아채. 다로 다시 유슈 숨죠. 야래 다르스. Yeah, all.
Yeah.
30, 40.
Yeah. Most of us are getting in our 20s, 30s, and 40s.
나도 런드레 시원한테 니마 집 다스 시원하래 왔어. We are not just come to one.
Yeah. So okay. So this age, getting to this age, doesn't happen in one day. You don't just one day suddenly become 30 or 40.
근데 다 대리 가서 풍부도 와서 풍부. 대리 풍부 때 개성이 가서 풍부. 다 년에 시발 대리 개발했어.
Nyerlang.
년에 시발 때 뒤져버렸어. 풍부 되고.
Yeah. So
그래서
then,
그 풍부 되고 대리 풍부를
yeah.
했어.
So then, today's aggregate, like today's physical body that we have, is the result of yesterday's body.
가상에 버리던 직사 요 말했어. 가상에 버린 직사 요
Yeah.
말했어.
So then, yesterday's body and today's body are not the same. Yesterday's body, jiksari, is over. It's gone. You can't locate yesterday's body today.
얘는 나는 봤다나 나 갖고 오면 왔어.
Normally, we don't understand that. We don't think that way.
But maybe scientists they check maybe they can. Yes, today's body look different. I don't know, maybe not.
No, it's true.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
But also we can find the outside trees, flowers. We can see when trees grow up, spring, right? Springtime, today's flower and tomorrow flowers, completely different because they grow up. We can sometimes we can see just maybe morning and evening completely different. Therefore, morning showcase gonda metu tegeta nyenge jures.
So then in that case, like when you look at during the springtime as the flowers blossom outside, the morning sprout of the flower, and then the flower that shows up actually in the evening that opens up, the evening flowers, primary, or what do you say, proximate cause was the sprout from the morning.
가래 nyenge 가르나 주те 레비티 뭐 부서버렸어.
Yuti debugi mo. Okay, so then we say that the cause, the nyalangiguro.
애나 애플 그 씨가 애플에 차서 말았어.
So we say that the proximate cause has the essence or the character, essence, I guess, mo, the nature of the fruit that will come from it. So the seed itself becomes the tree, becomes the apple in the end.
아니 다 나서 똥가 fall we can check the leaves we don't see just moment every, morning, evening. We don't see that the colors change. But when they start to, come change, they change moment to moment. Then we can, the maybe scientists can see, right?
Yeah.
Same as our body. When our grow up, the moment, they should grow, little baby. The moment they grow up, also day, also is a month, it's a year, the month, the day, then hour, the seconds. Moment they're getting bigger, not bigger. When they start to age over, then also moment they're over, we don't see much. That
So then, in this way, like he's breaking down the time scale of the way that things change or grow. In this way, we can understand that the conditions and causes for things as they change, like disintegrate, they arise, abide, and disintegrate like instantaneously, almost like faster than you can perceive. Yeah, so normally we don't perceive that. It's not something that we normally see, this kind of very small scale, instantaneous change that's happening. But for example, if you have a friend who has a small kid and you don't see for 1 year, and then you see again, you are struck by like, wow, you're really big. You got much bigger than before. So that kind of growth, the change in the kid from being, you remember the small kid to becoming the big kid, it doesn't happen in 1 day, or 1 year, like suddenly it rolls over and the kid is big. It happens throughout the entire period, instantaneously, like by very minute moments of time. So in the same way, like as we grow through life, the same as like trees or grass or those kind of things, which has a shorter, you can watch the grass grow in 1 day. Like if you watch it from morning to evening, it will actually get higher. Or trees or things like that that we can see outside that are more easy to recognize. In the same way, we grow up in our lives. Like all the time passes instantaneously, moment by moment, without ceasing, from the time you are born until the time you die. And then when you reach a certain age, like getting older, aging, it also happens in the same way. So growing up and then also getting old, it's always happening.
Second moment you born, start to...
Yeah, Okay. So did you guys understand? So there is a saying, a Dharma saying, like the second instant after you are born, you're already aging. So,
but we don't say it. It's grow. Example, this kid may be 80 years old. They can stay, but anyway, we don't want to say that maybe moment may be difficult. But one day, the next day, this kid should stay.
79 years, 364 days.
Yeah. Therefore, one age really, 1 day really old, right? They will look like this kind. Then, therefore, we say, now yesterday's body,
So we say that today's body, today's form, is the result of yesterday's body. So in the same way as there's like a continuum of the sprout growing and those types of things that he gave before.
다 집어야 쳐서 그랬어.
So the same thing holds in between, like every moment from the time you are a little small baby until you grow big and old. Each body just in the instant before is the body you have at the current instant is the result of the body from the instant before.
이빨을 저같이 채워봤어. 내가 가지.
Yeah, there is no like severance of this continuum.
야,
You know?
continu와. 다 등집부에 아무 좋아나요. 다 주주되게 수보들 하나도 당고 수보라가 아니 정말 just body.
So when we first acquire the body, is inside the womb of the mother.
와, 등지 말을 원고 주주되게 가래. 파마 빠와도 아마니겠다. 그자. 대명할 때 버리시 말아서.
And then we acquire that form on the basis of the seed, the father's seed, and the mother's blood, which I guess that will be the egg and the sperm, from our way of looking at it.
된적이야 seed 빠와만 seed 가래. 뿌기티가. 빠와 아마타 내 second different generation 차서 was. 되게 전체 체험 말. They're not what call cutting. 어디서? 된적이가 다 그래. 그렇죠. 그렇지. 바와 아마산이 뭐. 바와 아메가 다 그래. 또 머리서 근데 수북이 자식이라고.
So this seed, the fertilized egg, basically is not different from. It's not cut off from. It's actually a part of each parent's body. 디 타다르베, 디 바바 아메, 디
자식이시나.
자식.
수북이 자식이 다 수북 나는 집 자라죠. Something part or something.
Yeah, it's a part of the parent's body.
대주도 학원에 대주도 학원에 왔어. It'd be easy to understand, right?
Yeah.
We don't need too many quotations. It's easy, right? Therefore, actually now I'm maybe 42 years old. Then my body comes from my father's what do you call it? Sperm, right?
And your mother's egg.
And mother's egg, they're both together. Then where they come from, they're also their parents come. Not just someone put this, or this, there's no one put the trouble.
Yeah.
If you came to build, what's it? Go back. We don't find beginning.
Yeah.
Can you guys really understand?
Do you guys get it?
Get
Basically, if you
it
keep
makes
tracing back the origin of the physical bodies that we have as human, you always end up back with the mother and father's sperm and egg, which came from their bodies, and their bodies came from the sperm and egg of their mother and father, and you will go for eternity. You will just keep going back.
Pena nanzu mila come to dinner is pena. Pawa koiro, pawa kawating nanzu kuadang, jupatang, kang hago.
Kang, the bones.
Yeah, kang. Pawa na kayong gori, kuwa, kang, jupa.
So this is a Tibetan understanding, I guess. When the body is formed, the bones and I think kang, maybe ligaments. Is it kang like that?
Yeah, inside the inner body.
Oh, marrow, yeah. So bones and marrow and kang ruba.
Jupa가 나로로 이거.
Yeah. Kang ruba dan di sum yure.
They soon powers in yours.
So the bones and the marrow and these types of things came from the father.
아니 touch. 아니 탁당. 아니 샤당. That's soon Amazon.
And then 3 other things, which included blood and flesh, but Geshe, I can't remember the third, supposedly came from the mother. So this is a sort of presentation that exists inside of Buddhist teachings. So then on the basis of the sperm and egg of our parents combining, then we start to grow bigger and bigger. So the form, the bodies that we have are beginningless.
We don't find beginning. Okay, let's start there. We said my body started when I born, outside. Then we say, where they come from? Or they and the mother's one. Where they come from? Or their school? Where they go? Or their father? Or their mothers? We go over there. You know what? Begin less. This is for we talk about body.
Yeah.
Now we are mind. That's how we find mind. Also, that is nyelegi jero. Nyelegi just about the rim tumba goes. Rim tumba.
Yeah.
Rim tumba nyelegi jero.
So then, in order to, we have the two types of causes: the proximate cause and the the simultaneously occurring conditions. So the first one, the proximate cause, can only be of a similar type to its result. So, for example, the proximate cause of the body has to be a physical substance too. Like the proximate cause of the physical aggregates of the body were the sperm and the egg of the parent's body, and so in this way you can trace through a class, a type of causes which are all physical, the body. So now for the mind we have to identify the proximate cause. So it's in the same way that we trace the proximate cause of the body. The mind, this moment of mind's proximate cause is like the previous moment of mind. So today's mind's proximate cause is yesterday's mind. So then in the same way, like if we keep breaking it down and going back through the continuum of our life, we see that today's mind is always caused by a previous mind all the way back to the time that we are young inside the womb of our mother.
How they come mind or the being, they come there. Now we have to talk a little bit death, die. Now the Shila, we call it die. What is die? Die là thằng nó sốc lại rồi sốc thế nó ta lung sốc khoan sớm ya cái lung cái nipa cái gì nhắm vậy na anh ấy sốc chết lung thì cái sốc cái sớm thôi mà đi xíu rồi.
So then we have to discuss. So he was making the point. It's easy to understand like how the mind within your lifetime goes from one moment to the next. Like a previous instant of mind gives rise to the following instant of mind in a continuum throughout the time that you are alive. But then we have the question of how the mind got into the physical form in the body. Like when the sperm and the egg came together, how does mind conjoin there? And in order to explain that, we have to talk about death. So death, first to understand death, we have to think about life. So actually it means like the life vitality, or like kind of, I don't know, it's so difficult to, there are many words people use for this. Vitality, I guess, is the best. So your vitality, like what makes you alive, exists together with the wind, the energy, like prana or wind, I don't know, chi, a lot of different words inside your body. So when karidi lung
nipa.
Yeah, so
nipa.
So the capacity, the function of the wind is vitality. So as long as you have wind moving around in your body, this thing that they call wind, which it's not like wind blowing outside, it's something different. But as long as you have wind moving around in your body, its function is vitality, to be alive. Once the wind degenerates or deteriorates, then life, vitality is cut off. When that happens, then you die.
Same mind of the person.
Yeah. So then, when you die, the body becomes like an inanimate thing, like a corpse. So then you have the body like a corpse, Geshe Ngawang put the book as the corpse, and the mind is not the same as the body. So the mind actually enters into a state of being which is similar to life, but we call it the intermediate state between life and death, where you have no physical form. You have only the mind. You have so then you have a body that is in the nature of mind. So in that sense, it's like a kind of the same as a body in a dream. Like you dream, you have a body, you know, you might be fat or big or beautiful or whatever, but it's not a real body. It's just a body in the mind.
Looking for some house.
So then when you are in this intermediate state, the principle of that vitality or life or whatever, they solve, right? Right. Yeah. So then the thing in the intermediate state, which is generally the mind, starts looking around for a new dwelling, like a new location to enter. So then if you're going to be born from a womb, then there's an instance where the mother and the father are copulating. So they are about to fertilize, an egg is about to be fertilized by sperm or whatever, and the mind, the consciousness enters between the mother and the father, between the egg and the sperm as they come together, and is then lodged kind of in there. Oh, that's interesting. So then there's kind of a lore, you know, maybe it's Tibetan or maybe it's Buddhist, but if the mind, the sentient being that's going into that fertilized egg has attachment to the father, then it will be born as a daughter. And if it has attachment to the mother, it will be born as a son.
But they have talked about this.
It sounds very Freudian.
It's also talk about that, tantra.
Yeah. This is discussed in great detail in the tantras. Yeah.
You have a little bit idea.
So this is just to give you a basic idea, so you can understand the basic idea of death and rebirth.
If some bird, the house, right?
Yeah.
When you go to the house, disturb the house, then they are looking for some other house. They're running.
Yeah.
They can find some place. Same is and Bardo, when he or she suffer this body, then they're looking for some other place to burn. And then also we have 49 days. Tibetan calendar Buddhism is 49 days. If longer one doesn't find a place, the 49 days.
Okay, so then I think all over the Buddhist world, actually, I mean, I've been to Japan and it's the same, 49 days. But the idea is that once you die, your consciousness will find a new body to be born into within 49 days. 49 days is like the longest it could take.
Yeah.
But there are many people who get reborn in one day or 1 week, or there are all different types of lengths of time that rebirth can take place in within those 49 days.
If the person die, is female. If she die female, she will become back female. If it's a male, he will become male. This is not certain. This depends on karma. Karma is not we previous life, many different karmas, or to be carried a lot of karma, previous life or this life.
So, just to clarify to make sure everybody got that. It isn't the case that if you are male or female or American or whatever you are in this life, that when you die you will be born as the same thing again. Like you're gonna be, if you're a woman now, you will be a woman in the next life. That's dependent on karma, and then we have amassed through many lifetimes huge amounts of karma, and it depends really which one comes up, what life you will end up with.
Also, with the karma, some East people go born to West people go to born to East. For example, now we together here. I was born in Tibetan, Northern India, countryside. You guys most grew up here. Now we come together. We talk a discussion to Buddhism. This we call karma. No one bring here. There is karma. Not leg. Not
So there are many different types of karma that we have from previous lives. So then the fact that we are all together here today, particularly to study the Dharma, in Buddhist teaching they say that's the result of a vow, an oath that was made in a previous life to study Dharma. So we are here because of that cause. So then we also have, I'm sure you guys have seen it in the prayers that we do here, there is a prayer to never be separated from the Lama in all of your rebirths and those kind of things. On the basis of this kind of prayer, then you're born in a place where there are lamas that you bump into and meet with, and again you reconnect with the teacher in a life, after you've passed away from your previous life.
Then one story. What do you think? Can you tell the story that Sharipu?
Yeah, we can try. Yeah, sure, Sharipu, I know the story, so then maybe...
Maybe you can talk English.
you can tell, I will help you.
This shows a certain, anyway, the Shariputra term, and the one family is, okay, can I say English or Tibetan?
You can say Tibetan, I know this story well, so, yeah.
단지 미상식을 했어. 미상식은 초가 때문에 그랬어. 아니 처음에 해봐지. 아니 미상에 있다 사실 손 손을 했어. 사실 야구 초지. 아니 부디 어디서 와? 아니 아니 바와 아마니지. 아니 보지 보거나 남아요 그랬어. 아니 남아야 초가 해봐지. 아니 그 때문에 나를 혼자 부딩이 되게 고난기 때문에 가오시는 조가 세셔을 말했어. 아니 세대 다 저와 주말아 고난기 아마 빠바 마시네 냐게 고난기 미한테 와 냐게 말했어. 아마 마시네 고난을 키 말했어. 난 매매기 고난 세샤기 라이로 되게 부대 고난기 뿌를 키 말했어. 간나 그 때문에 차대서 그때 뿌기 말했어. 아니 내마치 부디 냐세가 로도 아니 냐대에서 그런 빠와있게 오는 많이 말했어. 아니 대샤도 또 어느 빠서 가라 그런 아마 그런 취득해. 아니 가라 아니 아마라야. 딱 가지고 저빠째서 가신 말 도저히 말했어. 대처럼 되네 샤를 말했어. 다 샤를 자동 통과했어. 다 파샤 사실 말도 자우 그때 방에서 고라기 이만한 고라기에서 아주 많이 살았어. 아니 딱 거기 바샤 사실 말하던 자우 그때 방에서 거기 주가 이메시였어. 난 거기를 주가 대모시고 들어서 나가야 그랬어. 오케이, now you your job.
Okay. This is a pretty famous story. So, at the time of the Buddha, one of his principal disciples, like one of the leading disciples, is Shariputra, who he had already the Geshe, so he has kind of a clairvoyance, so he can see kind of the karma that causes events to occur. So if he meets people, he can see like past lives and those kind of things. one day there was a family like in the town, and in this family there is a husband and a wife, and they're not yet son, not yet, but the husband and wife and the grandfather, right? So the wife's father was there.
Yeah.
Husband and wife has a rival, like there is some enemy who the husband killed, right? And then also the grandfather passed away after some years, and behind the house there is like a pond, and the grandfather was born as a fish in the pond. And then the husband, like because of the killing the rival, he committed some crime, then he himself had to die. So he was born as the dog, and the grandfather was born as a fish in the pond, and the enemy who was killed was born as a baby to the wife. So one day she was, caught the fish and cooked it for her lunch. So she was standing in the house, like eating the fish and suckling the baby at the same time. And as she was doing this, the dog was begging for the fish. Keeps trying to get the fish from her while she's eating it. So she was kicking the dog. And then at this moment, Shariputra came along, and he could see like all of the karma like involved here. Like the woman is suckling the enemy at her breast, like the person that they hated, and eating her father and kicking her husband like the dog. And then he thought like, wow, samsara, just what can you do but laugh? But there are two versions of the story. One where he says like, what can you do but laugh? And another one where he says, what can you do but cry? So depends on the mood, I guess, which one you use.
This is also
Yeah, so this is like kind of
show.
Yeah. So this is a demonstration, like kind of a example of previous and later rebirths.
Also in India, some kids have there are the four parents. They can see when we are very child, maybe 4 or 5, we can remember the valuable. When we are getting older, we forgot. Some people they know. Anyway, this is about Buddhism, about how is it? The Shema.
Yeah.
But we have to think about it, but it's walk on art, investigation. Not just say, oh, yeah, Buddhism said that right. Not that, just we can check. Okay?
In this the Kewa Ngamadan Chima, Tiki Nyelangi, the
Nyelangi, Tangi ba, Supo Nyelangi, Pame Kata, Shipati Nyelangi, that your Mame Kava, Shipping Nyelangi, under the child was
the Lanchi chicken.
Kenchi Sheji, Ta Pava Amanyam the Yoana, and it's Ta Sahodan Kani, Yancho to lose in Goa, that group children was. She come back. And a Pama.
Subugi, Lanchi chicken.
Subugi,
Semi Lanchi.
Sheji Sheji, Jawan Nami, Pardo Texan. Subo Leji Sheji, none of the Leji Sheji the man. Henchi Sheji, and the Takari. Pardo the Ankara, Pashu Samara, Shutamara, Semi Hajekai, Tuman Shipaya. Study certain countries of Chazan, but you don't know what Kali Jedi, part of the center is part of the center.
Yeah.
So, Heti Jeta, Ramana Mocho is so. Kali Mia Chimochana, Semi Chimo, and the Subo in Yenaji, Pamikata. They are Javamila, Pamatika.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify because I felt like we didn't get the definitive explanation of the two causes for the mind. We got the body, but I wasn't certain that we got the mind one. So just to clarify, the proximate cause of the body is the fertilized egg of the mother and father, and then, proximate cause of the body is the fertilized egg of the mother and father, and then the simultaneously occurring conditions have to do with the mother and father coming together, copulating to produce the fertilized egg. Then the proximate cause for the mind in this life is the last moment of the mind in the intermediate state. So after you died in the last life, the last moment of the mind in your last life before you died is the proximate cause of the first moment of the mind in the intermediate state, and then the last moment of the mind in the intermediate state is the proximate cause of the first moment of the mind as you enter the fertilized egg. And then the simultaneously occurring conditions, there are so many. So they have to do with kind of wanting to find a home when you are in the intermediate state. The sense of being disembodied and really wanting to have a body again is a condition, but there's also many other things like previous vows and prayers and like karma from your previous lives. So so then he's saying, like, for example, in a previous life, if you had a very great meditation and practice on patience, right? Then in this life, you'll have naturally characteristic to be very intellectually sharp. Also, if you meditate well on patience, then you will be very physically attractive. Yeah, you don't need makeup.
You have a lot of boxes, right? You got the boxes? You boxes there? You have to put things there. Usually Buddha, usually we always do mistakes, but we don't know how to do mistakes, We do a lot of makeups, but something. This shows to people can see for us very beautiful, right? But we go to tell one person we watch your face, then we get angry. Right? When we go to Tron, job place, then one person comes to me, they watch your face very serious. Then we get angry, right? Why are you looking for me?
So in case you guys didn't get it, he's saying we spend a lot of time to make ourselves look really nice. We want people to think we look nice. But then when we go outside, if someone really looks at us, if we see someone looking at us like that, then we feel like, what are you looking at? Well, you wanted people to look at you.
We can do that. So, the purpose to make up things nice, people can live nice, we can see that. But really people sitting and say, what are you looking for me? And little contradiction.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's okay. Now we go to that matrix, okay? But this is about the basic of this.
So this is the discussion we've had up till now is the basic ideas that are shared within Buddhism, just to understand like some grounding in the basic ideas of Buddhism.
Okay. Now, what page number you guys?
I think we are, in the blue book. Someone who has the yellow book is going to have to supply that page, but in the blue book, page 273, the yellow book, does anyone know?
What's the heading?
The heading is heading number 107, which is the endowments.
Thank you.
Does anyone know the page for the yellow book?
Someone have the yellow book?
What is the blue book page?
The blue. Which one was it?
310.
310 in the yellow book and 273 in the blue book.
210 yellow book.
310.
310 yellow book. Okay? Then going to want to talk about this very important thing about this. Manju tanda mi lede. Very important.
So the reason why we have to think about these things is to understand the great meaning and importance that having a human life affords us.
아니, 다 가르쳐 친구를 세워이나. 가르치는 게 제도 버렸어.
제도.
Whatever you want to do. Human body, human life.
Human life. Yeah. So why is this body important? It's because whatever we wish to attain, particularly in terms of virtuous practice, like religious practice, we can attain with this body.
단다 산지 좀 된데 무달라야 돼요. 물이 있잖아요. 밀리래야 밀리잖아요. 냠내진 사지 하면서 파주지, cow, donkey, horse, jenny, 사지 소원들.
So the Buddha said that you attain Buddhahood, you become a Bhagavan in dependence on the human body and not in dependence on any other. So if you are born as a cow or a donkey or those kind of things, from that rebirth you can't attain enlightenment.
그래서 아니 땐 대화, full happiness, never change, Of course, moment, but full happiness, enlightenment. That not me.
So in order to achieve the full happiness, like total happiness of complete enlightenment, you must have a human body. It comes in dependence upon a human body.
But they change the moment. Also they couple of hours, couple of days, couple of months, couple of years, and stop some difficulties, right?
Yeah. So in general, human life is enjoyable. In general, things are okay. We have I think at least for most of us, we have a pleasurable or a happy life. Although it changes, there are of course moments of sadness or unhappiness or whatever. But in general, it's okay.
But also this we need. I'm not saying this bad, but full happiness, enlightenment, then we check human body, I don't know, how to go body, other body, so on. 근데 다 다와진, 그래서 나도 추세 발라 다 콤바레스 가서 다와지, 다와는 다 콤바레스.
So the reason is, I need to find again the word for that. What did we say?
Eight legends.
Yeah, but then the komba.
Komba, time.
And
I think it's a time.
say what?
Time to.
Yeah. There's some word that we used last week, I forget. Anyway. So, yeah. So the reason why the human life is meaningful is because we have the leisures and endowments. We have the freedom, like komba, the time, leisure. Yeah.
다 대치로 됐다. 다와. 조바치나 란조만 진조만. 소수만에 참고가 나다. 신이거든 참고가 나다. 다 소수만에 참고가 나대.
So then in terms of the endowments, there are 10 of them. This is starting section 107, the endowments. There are 10 endowments. 5 are personal and 5 are related to others. So 5 are for oneself and 5 also encompass others. Oh, you want to read which one? The 5?
Yeah, just 5.
Yeah, okay. So we'll read the section 108 all together. The Shravaka level says, born a human in a central land, having all one's faculties, not perverted by the heinous crimes, and having enduring faith. The first personal endowment is being a human being. This is particularly superior to the other migrations in its potential for carrying out the practices that benefit one's future rebirth. We are now most definitely human beings, but it doesn't seem to have helped us. Being born in a central land means being born in a central place that is under the influence of the words of Dharma, and that has at least 4 members of the Sangha. Having all one's faculties means having all one's sense organs from birth. Also, hermaphrodites, eunuchs, and so on are not suitable candidates for Pratimoksha vows. And as you have not been born as one of these, you have all your faculties. Not being perverted by the heinous crimes means that one will not achieve arhatship in this life if one has committed these crimes. We have not committed these, so we are not perverted by the heinous crimes. Enduring faith is said to be faith in the Vinaya, but here it should be faith in all 3 baskets and the lam-rim system. Since one must possess these endowments oneself, they are personal endowments. We all certainly have these 5.
Okay, now everybody understand that. Now we are human, right? Yes. In a muy kachuna, say shema tun, shema tun tripalan, much chapan power, meaning goddess. They have to go. Munyan ba, 아무도 미니마 미니마
아.
추추쟁이 미국에서 미니라나 뭐 마이나 제도 말했어.
Yeah, so now that we are humans, we have to we have to work for the benefit of our future rebirths. And this is only accomplishable if you are a human. If you're not a human, then it's not possible to attain that.
심이 된 거가 로가진이 잡아 봐버렸어. 밑에 심이 된. 심이 된나? 어디서 심이 된? 제시마.
yeah.
된 거가 밑에 딱 로가진이 all human beings. Best is human being, right?
Okay, so I think this is just the first paragraph.
Yeah, first.
Yeah. So we are now most definitely human beings, but it doesn't seem to have helped us.
얘나야 뭐나 묶고 맞춰 버렸어. 묶고 맞춰 가지고 묶고 줘요. We are families, we work, we are our educations. 그래서 묶고 줘. 네 곱쳐 주세요. 추야고 두터나 묶고 줘 버렸어. 추야고 두터나 묶고 맞춰 버리라고 그랬어.
So it seems like, you know, it says that we have the leisure or the freedom or whatever. But if we think about our lives, we think, well, no, I don't, because I have to go to work and I have to take care of kids and then I have all of the things I'm responsible for. So it seems like you're not really free. But what it means here to be free, to have the freedom, means to be able to practice the Dharma.
추야고 냐면 제메나 밑에 고 맞춰 버렸어. 고 맞춰 버렸어.
Yeah, so then if we can't practice the Dharma,
Yeah,
then you have no freedom, right?
No. 밑에 고 맞춰 봐. 하이세 돼.
Mikewa komacheba. Yeah. So here it says, they translate it as we are now human, but it doesn't seem to have helped us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
아빠한테 집어라 됐어. 집은 말በት. But
Yeah.
다 가지나 가지 깨와 신명에 다 가르치고 추적 그랬어. 추적나 아니 밑에가 고쳐 버렸어.
If
future
you
life.
work for the benefit of future lives,
What do future life you do practice Dharma?
yeah,
If you do practice Dharma, you will work this way. It's useful.
yeah. So I think basically it's the same as I said before. I think the translation here is slightly different than the Tibetan, but the idea is basically if you use this human life, if you have this human life, and you use it to work for the benefit of future lives, which means to practice the Dharma in this life for the benefit of future lives, then you say that this human life has the endowment or the freedom, the leisures or the endowments. But if you can't do that, then you say it doesn't have the freedom.
단단히 랍다는 남수 미리 싸워 침몰을 했으라고 그랬어. 싸워 침몰.
Yeah.
싸워 침몰은 때 배치하고 빵고 그랬어. 배치하고 가르다나 아니 추적고 겨울고 그랬으라고 그랬어.
So we say that this human life is incredibly important. How so is it incredibly important? It's incredibly important only in the way that we use it. So if you use it to practice Dharma to achieve benefit for your future life, then it's incredibly important. If you can't use it to do that, then it doesn't seem that important. So it's the ability to be able to use it in that way.
근데 땅도 추 제와라. 아니 밑에 거 땅도 미래 왔어. 이제 랑종아 나이로 반 담보 생각을 해 왔어.
Yeah. So the first among the five endowments that apply to yourself is being born as a human, which we all already are. So we have achieved that somehow. Yeah, by practicing Dharma is how you achieve the rebirth as a human.
You with Jevas. You with Jevas. Center.
Yeah. Yeah. So then again, this kind of covers similar ground to the freedoms that we talked about before. Some of the endowments are like kind of the opposite of the freedoms. So remember, the freedom was like free from being born as something other than human. There were like being born as a yidak and in hell and in heaven, like free from being born as those are called freedom. And then endowment is like being born as a human. So it's like the positive statement of the other side. Then in the same way, we were free from being born in an outlying area or among barbarians or whatever. In this one, it's the opposite, saying we are endowed because we are born in a central area. And then a central area is, in the same way as we discussed last week, divided in two ways. Central according to whether or not the Dharma exists there, and central according to geographic location. So according to geographic location, the Buddhists will say that Bodh Gaya is the center of the world. That's like the central location. And then according to central location, according to Dharma, means the 4 different types of ordained people exist in that area. So then the 4 types of ordained people are the fully ordained monks and nuns, so that's 2, and then the novice monks and nuns, which are the other 2. Yeah. So if we say that if you have the we have. I'm sure, we do, because we have Buddhists from everywhere on earth here. In our place, like so America, for example, we do have the 2 fully ordained monks and nuns, and also the 2 novice monks and nuns all exist in this country. So we can say that this is a central place.
We are all born central place, right? Many is
So then the third one is being born with all of your faculties like present. So it means like your eyes and those types of things, but also specifically here it has to do with in the Vinaya, in order to take ordination, to become a monk or a nun, part of the interview process is checking if the person is actually the gender they're supposed to be, maybe gender is the wrong word, sex, I don't know. Anyway, if you want to take ordination as a nun, you should be a woman. And if you want to take ordination as a monk, you should be a man. And during the ordination process, they actually ask, do you have male genitalia? Because if you're a hermaphrodite or, indeterminate, like hermaphrodite, I guess. If you are of indeterminate sex, then you can't take the vow. So he specifically mentions here, that's why this seemingly strange hermaphrodites, eunuchs, and so on is mentioned, because if you are in one of those categories, then you're not able to actually take ordination. So he's just repeating again, if it's the case that you're hermaphrodite or a eunuch, then you can't take the vows of full ordination or novice ordination. So then the 4th one is not being perverted by heinous crimes, which are those are the 5 crimes without intermediate. So there are some these special So then the 5 heinous crimes, these are crimes that are considered to have no intermediary. So like sometimes you do a bad karma and then it could be like 10 lifetimes or whatever before that comes up as an experience. These 5 are considered like immediately after you die, the result comes out. And those 5 are like killing your mother, killing your father, killing an arhat, and causing a schism in the Sangha, and drawing blood from a Buddha. So if you've committed those 5, any of those 5, then in that lifetime in which you've committed those, it won't be possible to achieve arhatship. So since we haven't committed any of those 5, then in this life that we have attained, it's possible that we can achieve arhatship.
What is that? Shiva, and no one near Tepas. Near Tepas, then there's the Tepas.
So then the fifth one is enduring faith, like abiding faith. Dine nila deba.
Then there's the Tepas. Near Tepas,
Dine dune. Dine
then
dijela nila deba dine. Kare.
near Tepas and Karela, one is
Yeah.
near Tepalamna, then there's the Tepala.
Dunesum, dunesum. So then, having abiding faith means to have faith in the three collection of teachings. So the Vinaya, the teachings, Buddha's teachings on discipline, the Sutras, Buddha's teaching on meditation and practice, and Abhidharma, Buddha's teaching on like the higher, reality kind of. So, and then also Pabongka makes the example, not only those three, but then the lam-rim system itself, the teaching of lam-rim, which kind of condenses all three of those anyway into one. So if we are lacking one of these, then we can't count ourselves as having endowment. If we are lacking any one, right?
Yeah.
Chikamina. Yeah. So then he's saying like if you're lacking any one of these, then you won't be counted as having the endowment. Yeah, in order to practice the Dharma, and since we are all here practicing the Dharma, and we have the capacity to do that, then it's clear that we have all of these. If you didn't have these, you won't be able to do that.
All the religion is good. But if you practice Buddhism, we have to faith or then
So for example, all the various religious systems, they're good. But if you want to practice Buddhism in particular, you first have to have some faith, some inclination.
Interest.
Yeah.
Also interest.
Yeah. Interest or inclination in Buddhism. If you don't have faith or inclination toward Buddhism, why would you practice it? You wouldn't.
Also, maybe not only practice, there was a faith, maybe not interest.
Yeah.
You don't interest, you never practice.
Yeah.
You never study.
Yeah. It's clear.
Therefore, therefore you lost, or you're not able, you're not.
Neither Rinpoche. So then we will say, like, if you are lacking that, for example, that's one of the 18 freedoms and endowments that are listed here. If you're lacking that one, then we will say in terms of the perfect human rebirth, which includes those 18, it would be incomplete. Yeah, of course, if you are not human, then you won't be able to practice either. Appear as an animal. Yeah.
But this is not real animal.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
So hey, you guys understood? It's clear. So sometimes there are stories, especially the Jataka stories where Buddhas and Bodhisattvas take rebirth as an animal and do, kind of miraculous things as animals to benefit other sentient beings. But he's saying like they're not really animals. It's not they're really born as animals. The animal rebirth is like characterized by being primarily afflicted by ignorance. You can't learn or think about anything, and those Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are clearly not like that. So. So then, in the Yeah. So then, 신인의 격.
예가리. 신 지마 예가리.
아, 네네.
쟤도 왜 주잖아요.
Yeah. So then in the Bodhisattva Charyavatara by Shantideva, there is a verse which says the human body, this human life, is like a vessel, like a boat, which can carry you across the sea of suffering.
And today, 지마 마모 해 말했어. 지마 when all the time is.
Yeah, isn't
don't say.
yeah. Yeah, because this opportunity isn't easily found and is available, like they say, but it's actually more than once, but they say found only once. Don't sleep. Don't waste your time.
난도 내내 마시네 주먹 무야 째그래서 조조스가 딩세요. 딩세.
Kali, laladi.
This is also when I talk Tibetan, this might speak very too fast.
Yeah. He's going too fast. I hear like the beginning of the sentence and the end is like, while I'm hearing the beginning, and in my mind it's going to English, he's already saying the end, and I'm like, oh no.
We are here. Anyone else think of when I'm also born again human being, 100% born in one show?
Yeah.
Can I do?
Yeah.
딩세.
Yeah.
How the 딩세 means I don't know.
And Ding say certainty. Ding never trouble.
Never.
Yeah. So I think you guys understood because he's perfectly capable of saying in English, isn't it funny? So he's making the point, like when you are born as a human being, you might say to yourself, oh, when I'm born as a human again. But he said, is there anybody who can be certain of that? Can you be certain? You shouldn't have a feeling like, oh, just next human life I'll do it. No, don't think like that because you can't be sure.
미카시 다 양중한테 제가 내면서 뭐 투소스 있는데 나 가고 그랬어. 이나 남는데 초에서 뭐 제가 내면 그랬어.
Kiole.
제가 내면.
Yeah. So some people say like they will take.
I don't want to born again.
Yeah.
They're too tired. I'm full. I'm done this life. No, many people told me, I don't want to come back. We have no choice. If you believe or not, water go down, right? You know, always water go down, right? He doesn't put the submission. Someone says, I don't believe water go down. If you believe, not believe, doesn't matter. Water always go down. Usually fire go up. And people say, I don't believe fire go up. I don't want to go up. It's nature, they go up. No, then we believe. It's true, all the beings die, come back, come back. Or not maybe some place, very big factory, making big beings. And the factory closed, then no one come back. Not that. It's karma always because samsara, right?
Yeah. So that's the meaning of samsara itself. The meaning of the term is that, like going around, spinning around and around.
Why we talk about this? Why we talk about this? They want to lead thought chambers. Very precious. Important. There, do something, do good things. Of course, we do good things. I'm not saying we have to do terrible things, but we do good things. Do some practice. Do some meditation. They benefit you and all sentient beings, right? If you meditation, bodhicitta, compassion, even you meditation, you very strong always meditation, loving kind of maybe, compassion. Compassion means something that do not turn and do it all. And just simply kadina yoban money, not feel one, really, then you never angry anyone.
Yeah. So then compassion, when he says like, using this life, you have this opportunity now. The reason we talk about these things, the 18 freedoms and endowments, is to understand the rare and precious opportunity that we have. So he is saying, for example, when you understand that opportunity, then you use it, you take advantage of it to do something that you can't do in any other life, which is the practice of Dharma. For example, practicing compassion. And by compassion, we mean the prayer which we say at the beginning, may all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. Like this type of mind, the true, real wish, naturally and purely from your heart, that other sentient beings don't experience suffering, That's a real compassion. And if you generate the compassion really, then correct.
근데 저랑 우리 신발은 그때는 공부상 말했어.
Yeah. Then if you have the real compassion, if you really practice that way, it's impossible that you get angry to other sentient beings.
저랑 공부 받았는데 저랑 쓰고 찍어 들어왔어.
Okay.
We are not
Condom
angry.
asana, then
We are
yeah.
happy, right? We are
Yeah.
peaceful.
Yeah. That's a very clear.
Correct? Therefore, but difficult to think about it. bodhicitta. Always you think about others. You never get angry, never jealous, never hating for others. Because you always think about others. If you develop that kind of mind, you always focus that kind of mind. But this is very difficult. You can think about slowly, again. Then one day you very easy to focus that. Then you really think about that. Then you never get jealous or hate others. Then you are very peaceful, right? If you peaceful, then we need more peace. Peaceful, that's our goal.
Yeah.
Our peace, our mind, not some other place. Even it's a very peaceful place, very peaceful. But our mind is not peaceful, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? Always very angry, very jealous, and you have to always very stressed. Then the place is very peaceful place. We not stay very peaceful place. There's no wars. But our mind always do that, then there's no happiness. Therefore, think about some compassion, bodhicitta. Compassion is something that you do not turn something. Shipatela compassion is.
So
There's some goal, there's some goal.
So he's re-emphasizing that what compassion means is the thought in your mind, how wonderful it will be if other sentient beings are free from suffering, if they have no suffering. And then thinking that again and again, like bringing it again and again to mind, this is what he means by compassion.
그냥 다 가지 가도 샘새바에 넣는 건 지금 말아 같이 돼. 샘새간가 나다 칠발 누가 믿어도 칠발이 산 거예요.
So then, how is it that you can think like, oh, I wish all sentient beings, every sentient being is free from suffering? It's because all sentient beings are the same as me, in that none of them wish to feel the suffering. Everybody wishes to be free from suffering.
Okay, look like that slowly, then finish. I think we stop here. Do you have any questions? Today we have no homework, right?
I don't know, homework or no homework
Yeah,
is
I
there.
don't
think we do.
Okay, so yeah, any questions?
Question.
Yep.
Geshe, you spoke earlier about the beginninglessness of the mind, and we're using the example of tracing our origins back to the bodies of our parents, their origins back to the bodies of their parents, etc., etc. So there have not always been humans,
No,
and we have not always been humans. I'm wondering if you can speak to
other beings.
that, because the humans, I think, are not. Yeah. You got it.
It's still correct.
Oh.
Also, you can check, even all things being born to human, if this time very intelligent person die, they become back again to human being. They have to learn some again, but not different, They have to learn all the things.
Yeah. So I think, just to rephrase what he just said, he's saying like even a person who's a human in this life and maybe brilliant or whatever, even if they die and are reborn as a human, they still have to relearn language, speaking, and relearn all of those things again in their next life. But then again, to your question, I think maybe it wasn't clear. At the beginning, he divided body and mind. So the example of the body, going back to the fertilized egg, produced by your two parents together, and then following that back to your parents' fertilized eggs and so on, he was only talking about the body. You can trace the body back and then find the causes of this body that you live in now go back ad infinitum. Like you can just continue going. Like there's a stream of matter that has to be there to always be the cause of the matter, the form that you have now. And then on the side of the mind, he was saying that it's those two types of causes, the proximate cause and the simultaneously occurring causes and conditions are the previous moment of mind is the proximate cause. So right now you have a mind like thinking whatever you're thinking. The proximate cause is the previous moment's mind. And then the causes and conditions is like whatever karma and those things are happening at the time. So they're, manifold. There are so many different ones.
Okay, I think actually I was confusing myself and getting stuck on the physical part and thinking humans have not always been here. So before the first humans that we can trace our physical back to, what was it? That it was just some other kind of matter.
Yeah, I think that's right. But I can ask him. The me sorry, the zamling nala the thoma meba mari.
Zamling shawa chaja yersin. Namazın zamling shawa chaja.
Shawa chaja.
Many children. Zamling de chuman. Zamling mambo yersin.
Yeah.
So 내일 맞추는 zamling shawa.
얘네들이 미 쉐마 디 미기 수부 얘네 미 nguma 미 ngama ngama네 용어래요. 디 파마네 용어. 디네 잠링라 디네 토마 메베 미 용어래요.
토마 zamling 되는 미용 말아.
야. 디네 미 당보
간들레바리.
예.
레기 가능성 요니 아니 제가 남이 셴바게 미 세분이 남이들 제가
아.
셴바게 세분 남이
Very good.
There's other planets besides this planet. So,
남이 쉐와 쳐제 쉐와면서 와. 쉐와면서 와.
쉐마.
쉐와면서 메는 주자 동 푸른봄 사야 쉐와.
Shua, yeah, I don't know the number. This is like the complicated counting system from India, Tibet, where things multiply by hundreds of thousands or whatever. But there are some huge number of different worlds. And those worlds also have humans. Yeah, me. Yeah, they also have humans.
내리 신이 개원 내려내로 내리 신이 내려내로 같은 거니까 또 너도 걔네 제일 그래. 이쪽에다.
Yeah.
남이 쉐와 쳐자요.
I'm not sure if I'm understanding correctly. I mean, I need to...
Many different words.
Yeah, but the zamling mi tangbo, dine zamling shenla.
셴바니 양기와래 주는 남이 내가 개원해 줘.
Kiewala.
개원.
아니, dine midi pama sure.
그까지.
Kiewa tangbo.
그 개원 담보디 샘치 신득이래. all 샘치 신득하나? all the beings karma. They create the world. And all who create the world? 남이 who create the world? 남이.
Dine mi
That's 샘치 신득이래. All beings the karma together. They create the world. Then they who has the more first karma for this place. Then first the being, the human being, some animal, some animal. Then slowly more.
Trumchik kosan di trumde nala di mi tangbo mi ngune mari di subu kare drabra.
When the
Dine
tambo,
koso kale kalasa
the
jema.
tambo on the we talk a little bit, okay?
This is a
First, these world beings, they live very long life.
yeah.
What's that? Hello, gentle. Era 2000.
Getong 8,000.
8,000. The beings live. Very
This
long
is
time.
we're getting into like a big
Beginning,
Buddhist
beginning.
cosmology stuff.
Yeah.
Very time. That times the world's very good. Lot of flowers. They beings very good. They don't want to eat our foods. Also that time, the human and female and man they check that the voice. They don't have the
Organ.
organs. They don't have the organs. Then that time they just play this vehicle or the money lot of this. You don't need to.
Yeah. So he's saying like basically at that time like this is an idea in Buddhist cosmology. There's many worlds, like innumerable worlds, and then those worlds are actually created not by God or something, but by the shared karma of the inhabitants of the world. So when a group of people have some karma in common, to cause a world to arise, or whatever, the world forms, and then those beings start to take birth there. And then the first beings who are born, they are like not differentiated by sexual organs, but only by the sound of their voice. And then also food doesn't have to be cultivated, it grows, everything appears naturally.
Not sense here, neutral, non-neutral, organic, not that kind. All organic, very good. Then a lot of many years, then there's some earth, sa. Then someone, sa dao, sa namushi, sa namushi. Dani ko se chopa, sa de se rapa ida, ani choko, ani da kola chopa tamuris. Ani teni shini da chopa da ko demaris.
This is, I think I've heard this before, but I forgot it. Then there was, the earth itself is sweet, tastes sweet, and some person, like at the beginning, they don't have to eat gross, like matter to sustain their life. But after some time, those beings, like somebody started to eat the earth, and then their forms started to get more gross. Like I think the story I heard before, their bodies are not like ours either, like kind of light type bodies, very nimble, and like they don't digest or anything, they're just kind of energy. But then someone eats the earth, and then the body starts to get more thick, coarse, and then also there is waste produced by the body, which starts to make the place have filth. Before that there was no filth, but now the people are eating and producing waste, which makes the place have filth.
Then people they say, oh, this is very nice earth, then spiritual water, this is my land. Don't country, how is that?
Yeah. They start dividing it up.
Then they divide the place. Then, they do bad things, then they have a fight. Okay, this is my land, this is mine, don't do that. Then that's something should nyama.
So the karma that sustained the previous generations of those people who have a body that doesn't have to eat food and all of those things starts to deteriorate, and so then you have more rough karma coming up. So then people have a more coarse way of thinking, like this belongs to me and not to you, and then they fight over stuff, and little by little things start to deteriorate.
Then they come together, they become mambo jabo. Then they say, okay, now we need someone to boss for us.
So
that very long story.
So this is, I've heard before too. Generally the idea is that at the beginning of like an epoch of a world, when it first develops, the karma that develops the world is really good. So the beings that live there have this kind of, it's like the Garden of Eden. It's similar to other religions, have the same idea, like an age of innocence where everything is perfect and pure, and then little by little it deteriorates. And it keeps deteriorating until we're at the point we are now, which we call the 5 degenerations, right? So the age of degeneration that we are in. So supposedly, I think in Indian cosmology in general, not only Buddhist cosmology, there's an idea everything starts pure, and then little by little the karma degenerates until it's like as bad as it could possibly be, and then the world kind of is destroyed in an apocalypse, and then it restarts again as something good, and it goes like this again and again and again. So
you know that then come then there we have okay, my country and my village, then we work together. Then not the problem. This is a very big lot of talk. There was a Dharma Kosha, right?
This is in the Abhidharma Kosha by Vasubandhu. There is a discussion of cosmology, like how the universe is formed and how beings come to inhabit it and all of that stuff.
Okay. You like that longer than what we told us. What have to tell us?
She was asking about who the first human.
Therefore, humans, the first, maybe the beings, we don't say human, maybe even the Tibetans, I'm the Tibetan. Do you very Power Amani? Serious.
This one's even funnier. So, the Tibetan tradition is that Tibetan people actually come from they are hybrids. So the first Tibetan mother was a demon, like a demoness, like an ogress, and the father was a monkey. So, I mean, I don't know why you want to say that about your but according to Tibetan lore, like they are a hybrid between an ogress and a monkey. Yeah, so then, and then the story is made better actually when they explain the monkey who was the father was actually an emanation of Avalokiteshvara. Duja, yeah. So then, like the emanation of Avalokiteshvara, that's now the Dalai Lama, is also for the benefit of those Tibetan people. He's like the father, you know, recoming father, who's the progenitor of all Tibetans. So they say that the father of all Tibetans was an emanation of Avalokiteshvara. Then the ogress too is the emanation of Tara.
I don't know why they have to come to monkey and
ogress.
Why did they come with them? This is also a story. I don't know this just there.
Yeah, but it sounds really good if you say like, oh, the progenitors of all Tibetan is like Avalokiteshvara and Tara. It's like really good pedigree. You know?
Okay, anyway. Thank you. Don't stop. Talk too much.